everyone. Welcome to the Dragon's Tome. My name's Jack, and with me are Rob and Chopper. And if you don't know, if you just stumbled upon us, we are going to be going through Dragon Magazine in chronological order. We are on issue 42.
That's true.
So you boys ready? You want to get into this?
Let's do it.
Okay, issue 42. Take a look at this cover. What do you guys think?
I originally thought it was very Bashki-like. Or Bakshi-like, whatever his last name is.
The Doomed by Steve Oliff.
I liked it. I remember it from years past. Kind of iconic.
Yeah.
Still $3 for this issue. Do you think we'll ever get back down?
Well, they keep adding stuff to them just to make it $3. Like this one also has an old adventure they just decided to reprint. Like something that one of their guys used to play. They're like, I'll rate it up, put it in the magazine. So.
Right.
I do like the undead dog on the cover. I think he's cute. I assume that's... Well, he's got long fangs. Maybe it's a saber-tooth tiger.
Maybe. As far as Halloween covers go, though, it's not my favorite, even though it is a good cover. I don't think anything will beat the crazy Black Chariot Halloween cover.
Yeah, it's a good one. That came out in like November, December.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
No, I like it. I like it. It's got the Evil Dead where all skeletal except for the eyeballs.
Again, it reminds me of that movie Wizards. I don't know if it's the skeleton's eyes that make it remind me like that, but
as soon as you said it, I was like, oh yeah, I get it too. This has got like the art style's not as close, but everything in it is like
it's got a feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's got a vibe, as the kids say.
Maybe it's an homage. The Oliff threw a little homage to. I don't even know what Bashki's first name is.
Ralph.
Bill? Ralph.
I like the color. It is Ralph. The light. I think it's amazing how far we've come from those early covers. Like, there's actually object source lighting in this picture, and
yes.
It's pretty amazing. And how the background's all, you can still see the trees, but it's all through the fog. I think that's cool too. Very well done. Very good cover. Good one, Steve.
I like it. I don't care.
Steve.
If Pat's gonna crap all over it.
Well, I just said I liked it.
Okay, so it's generally we would throw it over to Rob to do his thing over. He usually goes first, and I don't know why. It just happened that way. So what do you got for us? What page are we heading to?
Page 4, Dragon Rumbles. This is a Gen Con 13 wrap-up. And he goes through everything that they had to do at Gen Con. It was at U of W Parkside again. And there's a few notes I'd like to say. He said overall it went pretty smooth. And a guy, Pat, would this ever happen? A guy on the loading dock actually helped them load and unload. Would this ever happen?
I think maybe in Wisconsin, because I don't think they're union.
Yeah, that's it. We can't do anything.
In Indiana and Chicago or wherever we go, any of the other conventions where there's unions, no, you're not getting anyone to help you.
Yeah,
you couldn't look desperate or in distress enough for someone to go.
Oh, no. You couldn't.
There could be something falling on you, and they wouldn't help you.
You couldn't get a correct answer from any of those guys on the dock.
So they don't care. Yeah, he also goes over a list of things dealers and gamers want from a perfect convention, which is pretty funny. The exhibitors want professional exhibit facilities, partitioned booth space, good lighting, electrical outlets in the booth area, good traffic flow, convenient loading and unloading facilities, assistance with physical setup, a dealer-only retreat area, guaranteed exhibit area security, professional security service, banking facilities.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's what he said. A perfect one.
None of these.
Yeah.
I think if any of this, I don't need an assistance with physical setup in my booth.
Well, that's what you got us.
I wouldn't mind a green room dealer only
Yeah, I
catered.
thought that was funny. That'd be fun. They do insist us when they have to put up the signs and stuff like that. They do that kind of stuff.
Oh, well,
hang stuff like that kind of things. They do
that shit's all union over there anyway. So
yeah.
They bring out the appropriate amount of tables, covered or uncovered. There's a small amount of assistance, but
yeah,
I doubt that they would ever be walking out to a truck and throws.
Yeah, here you want to use my forklift for your pallets? Yeah. Here, no problem.
Yeah.
Plus, don't you have to pay extra for power at the booth?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. And for the gamers, they want or well-organized game registration, knowledgeable information services, adequate physical facilities for gaming, convenient, reasonable eating and drinking areas, nearby reasonable lodging, and convenient parking or public transportation.
Here's the best part. Yeah. They don't care if it costs $75 a night.
Well, yeah.
$75.
As opposed to the $275 I'm paying now.
Yeah, at least. Yeah, we'll get to it later, I think. I don't know if it's in this issue or not. I think it's the next issue. They talk more about the cost of things. What else? He said, he said an amazing gaming convention could be in Vegas, but it would cost too much. There is a gaming convention in Vegas. It happens every year.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't cost $200 a day. Wow, it costs $200 a day now. I don't know back then.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. Universities are a poor man's convention center, he said. And I think that's the trend is going away from universities. And he said that at U of W, it's a half a mile where you unload to the dealer hall. Imagine that, having to go half a mile with all your crap. And several miles to the closest hotel. That is terrible. And he said PacificCon 80 is in San Francisco at a convention facility. And I think it's the first one. So they'll say maybe it's going to start a trend. And they're going to see how that worked out. We'll get a report, I think, in next issue about that. So that's it. Dragon Rumbles Gen Con coming up. Actually, it may be next week when this episode comes out, or maybe this may be even Gen Con weekend. I can't.
Oh no!
I can't predict the future. But yeah, that's Dragon Rumbles, Jack.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you for that. That's yet another stirring tale of Dragon Rumbles. So I think we're going to go over to Chopper. And what's your first?
All right, my first article is on page 6, and it's out on the limb.
We do love the out on the limbs.
Well, this time I got my letter. This one is the sports games.
Okay. Yes. That has been a topic that's brought up before.
This article is the one because I remember we talked about the free boxing game and how my friend loved it.
Ringside, yeah.
So this guy who says boxing his second favorite hobby hates the idea that he got a free boxing game in a magazine of Dragon Magazine.
Yeah,
I said you should.
There's always complainers.
In my head, you said you should be happy as hell. You got a free game of your favorite second hobby.
Technically, that game costs 50 cents, I guess, because they add 50 cents to the price.
I mean, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, if he's on a subscription, it's free.
That's true.
Yeah. That's like saying healthcare in Canada is not free. You pay for it.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, no, you don't.
It just kills me that it's my second favorite hobby, yet I can't handle getting a free boxing game in a role-playing game. And
I like how their response to it's longer than the actual letter.
I mean, you should quit your whining, I want to say to the guy. This easily could have been an Avenel Hill good and would have cost you $15, you mook.
And I love how he actually, once again, he paid money to put this article in this little teeny thing. He paid his 10 cents to send this in.
Yeah,
that's a fifth of the way to a free game.
This guy.
I think his concern was, and Pat has brought this up in the past, that there was a sports game like revolution, and his concern was that this new wave of gaming in sports would take over the fantasy aspect. So he was like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
And and Richard Arnold from Franklin Furnace, Ohio. He didn't have to worry. there was no chance of that happening. It was as it was as a little blink in history. You could have saved your 10 cents.
Yeah, saved your 10 cents and enjoyed the game like me and my friend did, and enjoyed. Oh, look at that! A free boxing game.
Yeah.
Yeah, people overreact even back then. But now it's so much easier to overreact because you don't have to pay 10 cents and mail it out.
Yeah, you don't actually have to write it. You can type it out.
Yeah, this guy wrote it, went to the mailbox, put it in.
You gotta be seriously
waited
mad.
a week.
Yeah.
He waited a week that they would get it, and then they probably wouldn't even why of all
it's
the
a
letters
miracle that they even bothered to put this in there. Yeah, but I think it's just so they could strike back at him.
Yeah, so that's some real commitment.
Commitment to his anger.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to move on to my first article, and that is page 16 of the PDF. And I've written here, "Make monsters great again." I don't think that's problematic.
That's not. It's the wrong one.
What?
This is Restless Dead is on page 16. Make monsters great again. Isn't that the Sorcerer Scroll? Or is it?
Ooh.
I guess it's both. I don't know. What do you want to talk about the undead? So what you want to talk about here, Jack?
Making monsters. No, you are correct. I poo-pooed. I was going to do Restless Dead, and then I started.
That's good,
I read and
mine.
Okay, and then I was like, no, I'm not feeling it. So then I changed down.
16 in the on the thing it's actually 18 on the PDF. Is
18 PDF.
It's another one of
monsters
mine.
Great again.
This is a Gygax Sorcerer Scroll, right? The only reason I knew that because this is another one of my articles. That's why I was like, this sounds familiar.
Yeah, okay, and I don't want to, since we have solved the conspiracy of the upside down ads. When we got that very satisfying conclusion, I was like, what am I going to do now? And I think it's highlighting...
When did we conclude that?
Oh, stop it. Stop teasing our audience.
You remember.
Come on. You had your...
We went on for like an hour.
Eureka moment. Come on. You're going to pretend that didn't happen? Shame on you. You're fired up this episode.
It's because it's drinking milk. Is that nice coffee?
It's chocolate milk.
Oh,
it's a Yoo-hoo.
Yoo-hoo.
It's not. It's iced coffee.
I thought it was the wrong color for chocolate milk. That's why I was confused. Jack, please tell us.
Hotter than hell in the last couple days. Anyways, it is Gary Gygax who gets a good zinger in right off the hop, stating that if you're having trouble with your dungeons and the problem is probably because you're a milquetoast dungeon master. You're a dungeon milquetoast.
Shots fired.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right off the hop, antagonizing the reader, and the gist of it is it's a kind of a long article. I enjoyed reading it. The gist of it is the monsters are the answer to any of the problems that you have. As a neutral DM, if you're having problems with not enough danger, too much danger, actually, he doesn't actually go into too much danger. That was just me.
Well, he does. He says he calls them killer campaigns. He says you shouldn't be a Monty Hall or a killer campaign guy. You should be in between somewhere.
A Monty Hall.
Don't make it too easy, but don't make it too hard either. So.
Yeah, but in the bulk of the article, he doesn't really say, "Hey, dial back on the monsters." It's monsters are the answer to.
He feels like the people don't play the monsters correctly, and he wants people to actually play them how they're. I agree with that. Like it's when you just read the Monster Manual, you kind of go by just stats instead of actually trying to play them how they would really react. Like how many times have you had like a pack of wolves attack you and they actually run away after you kill a few. They never do that. They always attack till the end. And like, they don't actually act the way they really would. So I think that's kind of interesting. But the way he goes about writing any article, it sounds very pretentious.
Yeah. And the reason it's interesting. He talks about, changing the numbers of monsters, how the monsters interact. Maybe it's two types of monsters with a synergy. A very thoughtful Gygax article. And I wanted to highlight it. It's long, like I said, but it was interesting, and I appreciated his input on it after the first paragraph of
yeah. He goes like it is actually good information, and he says he should play monsters' intelligence and their alignment, which I think is good too. Like just the way he actually it is probably one of his best articles about how to actually play monsters, and I think it was good about that.
Yeah, and ahead of its time, because I still don't think that was done properly for a long time for the most part.
Obviously, this is what he meant for it, but yeah, people, like, even when we were kids, you played the numbers. You don't really play how they should have played, You
get the module, and okay, it's got this in it. Okay, well, you're done when they're dead.
Jump you, yeah, that's right.
Yep, and then that's just the way it was. And it wasn't. Yeah. You didn't role play for the monsters. What would you do if you just watched all of your friends get butchered in round one and go, but I am a kobold, and I guess I got to attack.
Yeah, I think he has one example where there's a giant weasel or something, and he said, so I'll send that in so that the kobolds can attack from a distance with their spears, and it's like, oh yeah, that's interesting. You never do that kind of stuff, but I like it.
Not in the day like that. So, yeah, so that is my...
It's something I actually could learn from Gygax right there.
Yes.
To be more mindful about playing the monsters as they should, or even people or whatever is attacking your party.
Yeah. So that was mine. Rob, do you have an article that you want to highlight?
Yeah, we'll go back to the one you were pretended to highlight, The Restless Dead on page 16 or 5 of the PDF, or 14. This is it's like a response to another article, I don't think, in Dragon 40. I don't remember reading it, but about funeral and death rites. I don't remember that one, but how players were just looting corpses, like going to graveyards.
Was that in 40? Oh, I guess it was.
I guess so. That's what I said. I don't remember this article. But this is rules for making sure PCs stay dead are discussed. And it's you have to properly dispose of bodies, like by either burying them or funeral rites of some sort. And also paying money to the widow's fee, or what do they call it? What's the other thing he calls it, which I've never heard before? Weregold. But because otherwise they'll come back, which I think's pretty funny. That good characters will come back as haunts to curse and cause misfortune and the like. And you have to find this body and bury it and make sure it has to... It's almost like an episode of Supernatural to make sure that this thing doesn't harass you. And neutrals come back as zombies or skeletons. And if they're destroyed, they come back as haunts also, or vampires, because evil will come back as vampires. And I love the vampires because they won't necessarily go after the PCs, but they'll just cause havoc so that you have to go fix it. And they said PCs can play their dead characters, harassing their ex-teammates, or they can be NPCs. But they kind of say they should be NPCs, which is probably smart. But for some reason, the guy who wrote the article said that his gaming group said they're NPCs, but they wouldn't let the player characters come back until all the characters dealt with their dead body. It's like, well, that's mean. Like, the guy died and you're also not letting him play, and he can't even play the harassing. He just has to sit there. Like, that's kind of weird. But it was kind of interesting ways of, I guess, if it is an issue with your people that they're just looting bodies and looting, like, I think everybody has to have, what's it called, where you bequeath your stuff to people. They have to have wills. Because if I died, I would hope that people took my Vorpal sword off my body to help them. Because they were saying, like, you take anything off that body, he's going to haunt you. It's like, well, no. I would hope my friends use the weapons that I always find that the parties that they always describe, they're not friends. They're like just people who happen to work together and don't like each other and probably fight amongst each other.
All for one.
Yeah.
Yeah. My problem with the article, when I first read it, I was like, oh, okay, an NPC, if you wanted to, like, your big bad gets killed early, you could either fudge rolls or, like, the whole plot relies on this, and they just critical hitted. Well, not that those exist, because Gary Gygax said they don't, but, and I was like, oh, but you could then just bring them back, and I was reading about that, and I thought, oh, that's a fantastic idea, but then it was like, oh, and your player characters could and I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's not so a bunch of NPCs dying, it's more player characters dying, which is, yeah.
And
it's still kind of fun, though. Like, if they were being dicks about, or they killed the guy, it'd be fun to bring him back as a ghost just to fuck with him, but...
If your players didn't know and you had set it up so that it was so dangerous, this dungeon, so that they die like one after the other and they're getting madder and madder, but each one comes back and eventually the party's all undead and you have to
That'd be kind of funny too.
That would be amazing. But imagine being a skeleton as shambling around with your former friends.
Well, he's causing trouble, but I like the idea of like if you're in with like you and the DM are in on it, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna kill you really early on, and you get to come back as a ghost just to cause trouble. That'd be kind of fun. Like if you're in on it, the way they just do this, it's like a punishment, as always.
Like you spend a few minutes setting something up, and the big reveal is, and Bruce, what does your character do? And everyone's like, what? I come through the wall and I say, that's my stuff. And everyone's like, what the heck? Looking back and forth, and the two of you smirking at each other.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
You have to go find the body. Anyways, that was my article.
Good. So what's happening, Patrick? What do you got in the hopper?
Well, we will continue to go backwards, and let's go to page 14.
Oh, we're regressing. We're regressing.
And we have the article Patron Demons, Tequila Demons.
Tequila Demons.
I thought it was very interesting that we were talking about alcohol and demons.
And then you read the article and you're like, damn it.
It's patron demons. Oh.
And then you just threw it in the ground and stomped on it.
I felt silly. I was getting ready to pour myself a drink. No, I read this thing and I thought it was a nice little article. I mean, if you wanted to use these patron demons for your chaotic evil characters, I didn't have a lot of evil characters in my D&D games because they just cause too much mayhem.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of players playing evil characters unless once again it's with the DMs that it's a secret evil person. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
If you have a whole group of evil characters,
the chaotic evil people are just it just adds too much weirdness to it. Anyways,
it would have to be, and I know Session Zero wasn't even a thing back then, but during character creation, something that we did, we all kind of got the vibe of what the adventure was going to be and the feel of the party and and if everyone was like, yeah, if it was predetermined. But if someone rolls in with their character that they played with their other group and it's like, I have to play my character. And it's like, oh, the chaotic evil assassin again. Okay, well, there goes this party dynamic.
Exactly.
There goes any chance of us actually doing anything because it's just going to be trying to stop that guy from doing stuff.
Yeah, he's constantly stealing our stuff, constantly leaving us to die, constantly. Yeah.
So then you couple with their patron demon. So this article was nice for using in the settings, and I would probably use it more for a chaotic or for an NPC backstory even. But it's a nice little article that talks about patron demons for chaotic evil characters. And it covers basically from summoning the creatures to what they'll use to try and kill you to get out from being in a pact with you. It wasn't a very long article. I mean, it was straight and to the point is what I liked about it.
Yeah, one-page articles are rare.
Here's your chance to succeed the summoning, and here's what they'll send to you when they want to kill you.
Do you notice the guy's name? It's Pulsifer. Didn't we have this guy before?
Yeah.
Yes.
He wrote something about demons before, too, I think. I think this guy's a bit of a... Check his basement for sacrifice children. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
This is a demon-forward issue. Being Halloween and all, it makes sense. But there's a lot of articles on demons, and I think we just had the kerfuffle over angels being in the game, and I think no one.
And they'll never be in the game. We'll have all the devils and demons you want.
And then this issue is a chucker box full. It is wall-to-wall demons. So
expect some letters to the editor.
I don't know if that's the case, but it just seems glaring. But anyways, yeah, that's a interesting article.
I did look at some of these monsters, and Like you get a bugbear come after you.
Nobody likes to be bugbeared.
Do you think a jackal-wearer is stronger than a werewolf?
No.
No.
Because a level 6 prince would send you a jackal-wearer, whereas a level 4 prince would send a werewolf. So
I guess werewolves are more common.
I don't know what that's about, but
It's more about the prestige of actually having a jackal wearer.
and then a level 5 would send a giant spider.
Yeah, like you'd look at a werewolf and go, yeah, okay, werewolf.
Yeah,
I've seen
there-
that.
dime
But
a
then
dozen.
you hear a jackal laughing and you go, what the hell is that? And out comes a spotted dog-looking thing. It's actually, I think, not even related to canines. Comes sauntering out.
No,
And you go, okay, now my mind's blown.
So, but that was my article.
Perfect. So I suppose that makes it my turn. So let's...
My turn. Just skip
what?
me again? You skipping me? What the hell?
He did.
This guy.
100% right by you.
Didn't you? No, didn't you? Didn't
So
you?
You're so mean to me. That's right. I don't know. You're the boss.
Actually, it's your turn, Jack.
I know it is, but I want Rob to admit it. I'm just going to sit here until he admits it.
It's your turn, Jack. Go.
Is it though? Okay,
No,
so
it's
we're
my
going to go up
turn.
to. No, it's not. We're going up to page 6 of the PDF.
Oh, we're going backwards still.
We are. We're still. We're descending.
Didn't we already do it on a limb?
We did sports games, but now we're going to go to something called Money Talks, which is the first of the articles in first of the letters, and it was interesting. It was written by a woman, Catherine, from San Diego.
It's not Catherine. It's Catherine. She spells her name wrong. So
And she's from San Francisco.
she spelled her name wrong. That's all I'm saying.
She spelled her name wrong. Okay. You know what? It could be a spelling error from any number
Some
of reasons.
Some people spell their names like that. It's
But but you know what? When she put a K there instead of a C, I knew she was already just going to be
a
a problem.
where there should be an E.
Yeah, she's already a problem. And you know what?
She's
Get back
already
in the
a
kitchen. Make me a sandwich.
Oh.
No, it's a very interesting article in that she understands that there's a not a lot of women playing. She says probably about 10% of women are playing the game right now. It comes from a place of where it is in the men's thing, and she just says this is the things I'd like to see changed. Mainly, she finds the miniatures. Another one, and I'd never thought about it, but the miniatures that some people have,
chainmail bikinis and stuff,
scantily clad, and some of the pictures that they have.
That's one of the age-old arguments with metal female figs and D&D.
Well, but my argument is, look at Conan. Because she goes, who would go into war in a Speedo and a bathing suit? Well, Conan did.
Yeah.
And before him, Call the Conqueror.
Yeah, same writer. But but it's still a good point. You want both. You want variety. Like now there's whole companies making miniatures that offer like women in armor, like because back then it was only scantily clad. Like it's a variety in like options.
It was the Boris Vallejo times.
Yeah.
And honestly, even then you could, the barbarian isn't that much more dressed. But the gist of her point was women buy the miniatures that you want, buy the the books you want, buy the things. Money talks.
Yeah. And
then she kind of takes umbrage with Dragon Magazine a little bit, and something that you wouldn't see most starts out with, "Oh, sorry about the artwork. We chose those. We understand." And yeah, it was it was just an interesting give and take of hey, this is where we are right now in the in the industry, and everyone knows it's got to change, and everyone's going to work forward to changing it, and that'll be the end of the whole the whole problem.
Well, that's the interesting. She said like it's 10% women back then. Now it's 50% women. Like it is 50-50 now, which is pretty amazing. So
yeah. Well,
it's a
clearly
totally different world.
The Catherines of the world who wanted to let everyone know, and she wrote in and she made good. She didn't like, she wasn't a harpy about it, which would have had the exact opposite.
No, she was actually very concise. She said,
boom, boom, boom. This is
I make a decent wage. I spend most of my wage on this because it's my hobby. And if I want to complain about it, I'm going to complain because I am paying for it.
And I think also that it's women like this who get into the hobby and change it from the inside. That's the key too. It's right now, I think 99% of the people writing stuff for these games are men. Like it's just the way it is. So
yeah.
You get these people coming in and they will change it from the inside and do it, make it more for what they want, which is what happens. And now it's like, now there's so many different variations of role-playing games for every different persuasion, and you can find what you want now. It's because, especially with the technology nowadays where anybody can print anything.
Yeah, it's true.
It's much more, what do they call it, diversified than it was back then.
Yeah, if you don't like what's there, you make your own. The technology is here. It's as
for
simple as that.
Yeah.
And,
against Gygax's wishes, you can even modify AD&D to your own wishes.
What?
Right.
You can't do that.
Yeah. Now today, if you're not a fan of something, you still feel you have the perfect, you're just as entitled for your 2 seconds it takes to type on social media and shit all over it and then move along. And you're like, well, that person never even was but this, Catherine, you did good because 20 years later, 40 years later,
you did good, kid.
You're the first, the foundation of what it is today. But it's too easy now.
2 years.
Too easy nowadays to tear down and not build. Like that's the difference. I think people need to build on things. If you don't like it, do your own thing. Like even if you don't agree with these people that are doing their own thing, at least they're doing their own thing and not just complaining. Right? That's the thing. So.
Yep. Money talks. That's the gist. So next, anyone else have an article? Because we're getting down to.
Yes, I have one more.
I also have one more.
Okay, well then, Rob, what's your?
You're letting me go this time?
Oh God, here we go.
Anyways, page 24, sage advice. This is a quick one because I don't really care about any of these questions, but there's a long editor's note that's interesting. Jean seems to be kicked out. They got rolling guys doing it. I think it's too much talk about beardless dwarves. I assume that's why she was no longer doing this. And it's also no longer going to be wacky questions. It's just going to be a strict FAQ.
Wait,
so I think
Jean is out.
Yep.
And it says we'll continue to provide answers.
Wow. They say that, but then it's just these two guys doing it now. So, also it's just going to be FAQs. It's not, they said keep your questions to specific rules questions. So it's just an FAQ. So I doubt we'll ever talk about sage advice again because it's going to be boring. So it's not going to be kids writing in and saying, my paladin got this person pregnant, which was fun.
And Jean, what did you do, Jean?
Yeah, I think Jean had too much personality and was like
it's too fun.
Yeah, and it was one person addressing. Now, maybe the avalanche of mail was too much for.
Well, they
do
say there's a lot of questions there,
but also there was. It seemed like one person answering, and you could get the gist of how now it's just be generic. A couple people.
It's Jim Ward, the guy who.
Oh, it's legit guys, but I'm saying it's just boring. They're not going to be having their. They're going to strictly questions that have a direct answer in the rules.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they give you the page numbers now.
Yeah, like it's a FAQ. It's become an FAQ, which is boring. FAQs are only good if you have a question. Anyways, that was my quick one. That's my last of them.
So, one more from you, Pat.
Let's go to page 26.
Oh.
We're going to talk to our good friend, Mr. Leonard.
This one goes
Yes,
on forever,
Tiny Hut.
and it's all about planes. And I was checked out.
This is exactly why I brought it up, because it was lots of information about the planes and very little useful information.
Between
Very
you and me,
in-depth.
There was a lot of charts that were needed. You could role play half of that stuff on there. Some of the things is okay, like movement is a great number.
yes, yeah.
But the chance of seeing something as you're moving doesn't need to be done. That could be easily role played. If you want your party to notice something, you let them notice it, or you just roll a die.
It's 7 pages of this stuff.
I know, it was a lot. That's why I said that's what I really wrote. Lots of information, more not so useful than useful.
And I don't want to alarm anyone, but Leonard, this becomes a this.
Jack, are you shrinking?
Am I?
Your camera moved again.
He's like, it's his Hobbit view.
Oh dear!
It just shifted quickly, and I was like, "Oh, I just noticed it shifted down."
He's moving through the planes very quickly.
Sorry, you were saying, dear. Jack, before you shifted to become Hobbit?
Did I? Because 2 weeks ago, I didn't know why my camera kept shifting because I got cables everywhere. I redid my thing, and I as I was just moving my leg around, it was. And I must be doing the same thing now. I thought I'd fixed it, but
so
I just looked up and it was just like, what's that that meme or the old Kilroy was here or whatever.
Yeah,
it was about Leonard, Jack.
Yeah, this becomes a theme. His going forward, he has a lot to say about nothing at all.
Yeah, I mean, we all love a good chart. But this was way too many charts. Like the chances of functioning magic items in the planes doesn't need to be discussed.
Isn't there something about like vision and visibility and?
Well, that I can see that, but you don't need to know about spell density. Jesus.
Movement is the only thing that whole article. I was like, oh yeah, you could make it so that when players are looking and going, especially when you're using minis, you go, oh, okay, well, I could do this, and this. And I was like, yeah, no, it's like moving through molasses. You thought you could move this. It changes the dynamic. But everything else should be in the module, what you see, what you do, what you...
it's
the combat.
Most of this is role-playing stuff,
Yeah, it is different than role-playing. But
you don't need a chart to decide what magic item works. You could just decide if you want it to work or not.
Yeah.
So, I think this thing had good intentions, but just went off the rails very quickly.
There is a group of people that really love the planes, Gygax being one of them, and they cannot get enough of it, and they just go all in. So,
and I'm sure there's someone out there, I'm not going to poo-poo this article too much because I'm sure there's people out there now who would love all this information, be like, oh, I could put this in my campaign.
Yeah, there's some people they're into the minutia. Yeah, for sure.
So, if that's you, this article is generally right up your alley then. If it's not, then like myself, then it's overkill.
Okay.
But that's it. Just... that was me. I just wanted to point that out. That was what I thought was going to be a somewhat useful article. Turned out to be not so useful for me.
I did the exact same thing. So, okay, Rob, what's your ad?
I'm out.
You're out? Not even an ad?
No, I got no ads. Got nothing else. I'm done.
I got 2 ads.
Well, good.
Well, I only have one, so let's split this up. Let's make the compliment, the criticism, and the compliment situation. So we'll start with Pat.
Page 7. I just want to point out that this ad is the start of me actually having a calendar in my room.
Oh,
because I was like, ooh, fantasy art calendars.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had one of these. Not this one, obviously, but down the line, I had one of these calendars too.
Yeah. And then fast forward 2 years later, then it becomes swimsuit models.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Around 1982.
I don't want to know.
All right.
But it's
Ooh,
like
trivia.
original artwork by you got Barnes, Foglio. There's some big names there, and it was. And speaking of which, because I think one of the pictures is the comic, the woman that writes that comic about the princess.
Jasmine.
Every time I'm scrolling through that, she is so talented. I look at those pictures, I go, "Oh my god." I can't be bothered to read the thing.
No, it's a lot of text.
It's a lot of reading, and it's not my jam. But boy, every time I go, she is really amazing art. And I just happened to look up and see the picture there. That reminds me of it. Yeah. Okay.
Right. What's your article or your ad?
My ad. We're going to go down to PDF 55.
Zeus.
And we're going to go down to the bottom left.
Oh, he still hasn't sold it.
Oh, no.
He still has not sold that issue of Volume 1, Number 1. So we had discussed last week whether we thought maybe this was a dig. Do you think no one wants that issue of?
No, I'm sure they do. But
that Tim Kask has, or is this? Are we still thinking maybe some cruelty is involved?
I think some cruelty is involved.
I
think this is just the way to get his address out there.
They doxed him. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Okay. Well, then we won't dwell on that. So whoever lives at Herman Street now, 50 years later, won't get
that'd
a
be
bunch
hilarious.
because of our show.
We should make a pilgrimage there, Rob, and then you
just
go,
drive
Tim,
by.
are you still alive?
That'd be funny if Tim's still there.
Why did you leave Dragon Rumbles? Tell us the story.
Maybe he's at Gen Con
kid,
this
have
year
a
too.
seat and I'll tell you all about it.
Or we just slip a letter in this mailbox that just says, I'd offer $10 for issue number 1 of Dragon Magazine.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Okay, Pat, you have one more.
Last ad, it'll be page 50.
50. Okay, we're just going up to 50.
That's
John
not even an
Carter
ad.
Monitors.
This is a review.
Is
This
it?
should be in
Okay.
articles.
Oh.
Yeah, it's part of the Dragon's Augury.
Oh, my bad. I thought this was an article or an ad.
But it's, yeah.
Because all I
Mars.
wrote is I haven't seen this game in the millennia.
Yeah, there's a long article about, it's like 2 pages about someone reviewing this game.
Oh, all right. Was it a good review? I didn't read it.
I didn't read it. It's like, I don't care.
Well, since I'm in charge and I like a little bit of a fast and loose situation, I see no problem with this being considered an ad because clearly it is.
But it's a box set, is it?
Yeah. It's a board game, basically.
Barsoom. Yeah.
I just remember the game,
looks pretty basic.
shortly after the comic book, and I was like, oh.
It's
I
original
haven't
books.
seen, or books, I mean.
What's a comic book too?
It's $20 for the box set.
Yeah, and I was
Jeez,
like, oh, I
who
haven't
makes
seen.
this?
SPI.
Those guys, $20. It's a lot of chits.
What is it? Simulations something?
Strategic Simulations Incorporated, I think.
No, SP.
Oh, the wrong one. SSI is the video game
Yes. SPI was Strategic something Incorporated.
publishers. Yeah, SPI. There you go.
Yep. But that's it.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Well, that looks like, Rob, were you about to, did you see something? You're like,
I'm seeing how long this episode was for an issue that had nothing in it. We've been going for like 45 minutes.
we had some good stuff. And I apologize then for all of our faithful viewers if this went too long. And
Nah, but this magazine,
angered you,
in my
like-
opinion, was better than the last one.
yeah.
See, I disagree, but
Rob's got the patience of a rat trap. Anger is bubbling under the surface at all times. So,
No, there's
anyways,
no
then
anger. Look, no anger up here.
I better wrap this up before my camera moves again. So this has been the Dragon's Tome, episode 42. Please come back for episode 43, where we're gonna do this all over again. So why don't you say goodbye, everyone?
Bye-bye.
This was the answer to life, universe, and everything. I never even remembered. Bye.